How you guys feeling just physically after that 7-game series?
Feeling pretty good. I mean, we got through it. Emptied the tank game 7 like you're supposed to, but it's nice to actually kind of keep a rhythm. We've been playing every other day for the last week and a half, so you got a good understanding of how to recover, get your mind and body right for another challenge. Game ones are always interesting, just the feeling out process, so we just want to come out with energy and focus on the stuff that we can control and see where it takes us.
Different kind of challenge, obviously, but did you learn anything from dealing with their size in Houston that can apply? I mean, you obviously have to deal with Gobert, and this is a big team also.
Yes and no. There's certain similarities of, like when Steven Adams came in and tried to dominate the game, and our attention to detail on 5 guys rebounding together. But Minnesota is a totally, different setup, and they have different patterns that they rely on. Obviously, Ant is playing at a high level. Rudy, what he did in Game 5 of the first round was insane. So you expect physicality, you expect it to be kind of a bruise-it-out series. But personnel is different across the board, so we got to make those adjustments.
How much can you take from the regular season matchups? They were so early. Minnesota's playing a lot better. It was before the Jimmy trade. Is there really anything you guys can take from those first 4?
Not much, to be honest. I mean, it was January was our last game. Both teams finished extremely well down the stretch. We were always looking at whatever standings you did watch down the last 4 weeks of the season. We were always looking at what Minnesota did, with Memphis and other teams, trying to figure out who's going to be in that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 range. But other than that, they're playing well. They have a little bit more of a consistency than we do, probably. Just I know Donte missed a little bit of time, but most of their guys have been available, but they're just playing way better, and they seem like they're more connected. So you just got to understand what their patterns have been, just watching them and try to adjust on the fly when you get out there on the floor.
Did you take note of both road teams winning Game 1 last night, and did you take anything from that?
Not at all. It's great TV, but every series has its own unique situations and variables at play, and obviously, we're starting on the road, so you want to get one of at least one of the 2 here. You'd like it to be tonight, and we're going to do everything we can to get it done.
What was Ant like as an Olympic teammate? He speaks so highly of you and the experience.
He was the life of the party. From his World Championship experience the summer before, being with Steve, to him being with us and that team, he just brought great energy every day of practice, games. He understood his role, and that team's different than what he does here in Minnesota. But he transitioned pretty well, and we needed that youthfulness and that confidence, and just even the chatter. There was never a dull moment when he was in the room.
As you've seen his game progress, is it still most important to contain him going downhill, or is that shifted to the 3-point line as he's been more of a 3-point shooter?
All of the above. He gets good looks from 3 because you have to respect the drive, and then when you press up, he can get by and put pressure on the rim. He's done a pretty good job of distributing the ball if he gets in a crowd and all that type of stuff too. So, and they have 3-point shooters around him. Gobert at the rim. I don't know how much you can take away from him. It's just you have to try to make every possession as difficult as possible, not give him easy looks, knowing that he's gonna score. He has the ball in his hands the whole game, but he's tough, and just can't get discouraged if he gets hot. That's what great players do.
What memories do you have of interacting with Donte when he was here with you? And he's talked a lot about how much that year helped revive his career. What do you remember about your conversations with him about life, basketball, and also what do you think about what he's done since then? I mean, he's obviously shot the ball well and become a key player here.
It's been amazing to watch. You know, from the first conversation I had with him in the offseason when he was deciding where he wanted to go and settling Golden State on a great opportunity for him to reestablish himself as, you know, one of those guys in the league, to seeing how it played out throughout the year, how well he played, us going in that series against, you know, Sacramento and LA. And then a phone call, I remember that next summer on some I guess some guidance or some wisdom I might have had on how to handle that free agency perspective, knowing that everything turned out the way that it was supposed to. Him coming in, playing extremely well all year, shooting the ball at a high level, getting rewarded for that with the contract he got in New York, and now to see him being a part of, you know, 2 playoff teams 2 years in a row is a reason that he's in the rotation and a valuable resource for, you know, both of those teams. So he's a great player. He's a champ. Knowing what he did in college, and he's elevated his game. So it's been fun to watch. I don't want to see him do great in the next 2 weeks.
Steph, how has Buddy's presence changed, his presence and his personality changed the vibe of this playoff run as opposed to your runs in the past?
He's just doing his job. It's not really to compare, you know, this locker room to any other. Every locker room that you come into has a unique group and a mix of guys, and Buddy's another guy that there is never a dull day with him. He's always upbeat, he's always positive, he's always excited to be in the gym, and you need that energy for a long year, and then you need it in the playoffs, especially for a guy who hasn't had that many reps in this, you know, at this stage. You love to see them figure it out on the fly and really make an impact and see their confidence grow by the game. So it's been fun to watch, and I want to see more of it.
Is there a lightness that there wasn't before, maybe?
Say what?
A lightness that he brings?
I think we've always had joy around here. It's something I try to, you know, bring on a daily basis, but he does it in such a unique way, and he's unashamed about it. That's my favorite part about it. Like, he doesn't mind getting made fun of at times. He doesn't mind going at people. He's just gonna have fun. And you need that energy, knowing there's so many ups and downs throughout the year. The 82 games can get a little monotonous at times, and he doesn't allow you to be in a bad mood too long.
Is the thumb improving, or is it one of those things where you're going to need the off season for it to get better?
It is in a great place right now to keep playing. I don't know what's going to happen down the road.
Does it only hurt if it gets hit, or is that how it kind of?
Yeah, and it's almost impossible for it not to. But I'm good.
Great, thank you.
How you feel physically after that 7-game series?
Good, ready for another one. Well, not 7 games.
Good catch. What do you think about their size? And I mean, you guys obviously dealt with some of that in Houston, 2 big guys. Here they got Gobert, and they're a pretty big team. What does that take to combat that?
You know, anything, like any good thing has a bad part, you know, so we can run faster, we can get up and down with those guys and make them run. So just using that to our advantage.
Athletically, how does Minnesota's perimeter defenders compare to what you guys faced against Houston?
They got some good guys on the perimeter. Obviously, a different team, different style of play. Yeah, so I guess we'll see how they're a different team than they were early on this year. So we got to get a new feel for them.
Is there anything you can take away from those early season matchups, or is it was so early on?
No, I mean, it's the same team, so, you know, it's tendencies and things like that we can get. You know, I don't want to get too much into the game plan, but, yeah, there's definitely things to take away from the first one.
Moses, how has Buddy's personality and presence changed the feel of this playoff run as opposed to the ones you've been in before?
Buddy's presence changes every room that he goes into. You know, he just got an energy and like just a playfulness and a fun to him that doesn't waver every day. Like sometimes even when you don't feel like it, he still got that energy, and that's just an impressive thing for anybody to do, especially in a profession like we have. For him to be able to keep that energy all the time is really commendable.
much different offense than the Rockets. What does it take to kind of contain them from long distance? Their size is another talking point, but they're a much different three-point shooting team than the Rockets are.
Yeah, I think that's just the area of focus. Changing your areas of focus with a team that's not attacking the three-point line as much than a team that is. So just having your antennas up, guarding the three, then different actions, just knowing that that's a factor.
Jimmy Butler was here, and we remember him as a Timberwolf. What's he been like as a Golden State Warrior, and what's he brought to the team?
He's been really good as a Golden State Warrior, as our record tells. Since he's been here, he's another guy that changes the locker room as well as the court, just bringing stability, late game situations. He composes the offense. We make good decisions when the ball goes through him. So he's definitely a good addition.
Was there any specific memories of Donte's year with you guys? And you guys play kind of the same position. And when you learn much from him, basketball-wise, life-wise, what do you remember about your interaction with him?
Yeah, Donte had a really good year. It was cool to see him coming in the situation he was, trying to get a deal, whatever his situation was, and then come through and have the year that he did and kind of propel where he's at now. So that was really cool to see. He's really good at different things on ball, knocking down shots, and I feel like he kind of developed that identity through the time that he was here. So it was cool to be able to watch.
Given that, how much of a challenge is he in this series? I mean, he's become a really key player for them.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's another one of those shooters that you guys are talking about. He plays both sides of the ball, so yeah, we'll have to contain him.
Cool.
Thank you, Moses.
No problem.